Hey guys, just want to do a quick story with you. We're installing a demo unit on the truck that was at GIE. We're going to visit a couple of dealers tomorrow. Just want to give you guys a couple of tips and some insight on how these get installed. We haven't really gone over that process with you guys yet. So, these are the stake pocket mounts. They go in the stake pockets, two up front, two in the back. And there's a strut channel nut that's on the inside here that slides up and down and can be mounted depending on your mounting hole here. So, quick tip, when you're installing this in your stake pocket, there's a hole up top here, so you can just push that down until it lines up with your mounting hole. Alright, so these are the stake pocket mount washers. They actually come connected in a line. There's 4 of them total. We've already broken them apart, but basically they come connected still. It's just a lot easier to get them powder coated that way. And then you just twist them apart. There's just a little piece of metal holding them. You twist them apart, and then you can use them on the stake pockets. Okay, so when you get your crate, this is the front rack right here. That's the dovetail A-frame. We'll talk about that later. So this is the front rack. It's screwed down over here and then over here. So we'll go ahead and unscrew that, and that goes on the truck next. We have the 4 stake pockets in, and they are hand tight. Okay, so the front rack is on, and if there's an optional shelf that goes in here, tomorrow we're going to a golf cart dealer, so we're going to leave that shelf out. But if you were installing the shelf, you would do that on the ground. And the way to do that, the shelf comes right here on the pallet, and there's basically little clips that go on here, and then stainless steel screws to hold them in. There's 16 of them. Okay, so we put the carriage bolts. There's 4, 2 on the inside on each side, and 2 on the outside on each side, so 8 total. And then the next thing is to put these side rails inside the front tube. These units, as a reminder to everybody, they will fit long and short bed trucks. Okay, so this is the dovetail A-frame that I was telling you guys about earlier. And the way this mounts is right in here. There's several holes, so you've got adjustment. It always mounts in the most forward-facing hole unless you need to adjust it. And there's 6 carriage bolts that hold that in. Alright, so all the carriage bolts are in that A-frame, attaching it to the dovetail. Next thing you do is you put the adjustable hitch in your hitch about halfway back until you're able to mount the dovetail the rest of the way. Okay guys, so this is the part that's handy to have 3 people to install because there's 1 person on each side of the dovetail, and then somebody puts in the pins down here. So basically what you do, these 2 hooks on the dovetail hook onto these side rails. And then the person underneath that's lining up the pins, there's 2 sets of pins to line up. There's this one here and the adjustable hitch, and then there's this one in the A-frame. So typically you put this one in, and then you ask the people up top to make sure that it's level, and then put this second pin in. Okay, and now the ramp is on. This pin holds on the ramp, and there is a 3/8 bolt that goes right here to hold that in. One thing I forgot to mention is you want to leave, especially these rear bolts and this bolt here on the side rail loose while you put on the dovetail, so that way you can get it as close as possible to your tail lights here. Also, most of you have known, but we've added this plate piece of 14 gauge, so that way there's not a gap where somebody can step or get their foot caught. One thing also that we didn't mention is when the dovetail's on its end, that's the easiest time to put on the wiring harness that we include. But there's instructions how to do that, and it's pretty simple. The wiring harness actually goes through these notches here. Alright, so we've got the rear sign on as well. You guys don't have to worry about that. We rivet that on, so that comes pre-assembled normally. It's starting to rain pretty good outside, so I don't know about you guys, but we haven't had much snow this winter. Kind of stinks when you've got tons of snow accounts, you're counting on the snow. Every time we've gotten weather, it's been too warm and it's been rain. But anyhow, we're about wrapped up for the night. The only thing we got to do is move our tag and put our lights on. So if you guys got any questions on this or want to get an order placed, just shoot me a message. Thanks.